Channel. This is a Naturia Orcust build, Naturia being Naturia Beast or Naturia Barkion that you can bring out along with the whole Orcust combo. Post Dark Neostorm, so you got all the Dingirsu nonsense. And let's get to the builds. Move all this stuff over. Oh, Naturia Beast. So first off, we have our main ideal starters. 3 copies of Neo Space Connector. This is pretty much the ideal starter you always want to draw. It's not part of the Cheerio stuff, but it will ensure that you bait out hand traps, and if not, you get the Dolphin, which will rip out a hand trap out of their hands, ensure your combos go smoothly. Then we have a special summon, free extenders, so just in case they do hand trap this, you play this beforehand, so that way they eat the hand trap or you eat it from them, and then you go into your Orcust combos. Then we have the Naturia stuff. We have 3 copies of Orcust Scorpio, and then 1 copy of Darting Cobra. This goes into a Aromage Jasmine, plus you get your Instant Fusion in hands. Aromage Jasmine lets you pretty much get out Glow Up Bulb from your deck, so you always have access to it, and that will help make your Cheerio. Glow Up Bulb. So basically, if you're playing the Cheerio Beast, you do 1 plus 4 Instant Fusion. Or if you're doing Naturia Barkion, you do 1 plus 5. And I'll show the Instant Fusion targets in a moment, towards the end. And then we're also playing a Trickstar package. 1 Candina, 1 Corabane, 1 Lilybell. So this always, if you light stage, you can search this out. She special summons Corabane, so that gives you 2 monsters. If you do light stage plus Lilybell, you don't want to draw this, but it is a free special summon. You reveal it from hand. Getting special summons is very important because it's also needed for the Naturia Beast combo, because it involves having a special summon plus the Predaplant Scorpio. And then we have Phantom Knights package. I am playing 2 boots and 1 cloak. Because this deck and strategy does involve around discarding cards, especially for Predaplant and Aqua Dolphin, you don't want to have to discard a copy of boots, so I play 2 copies of boots. So that way you always have access to it. And it's very important to have a copy of boots available so you can do the full Dingirsu combo. Then we have the Orcust section. We have 3 Harpours. You always want to see at least 1 of these in your hands so you can discard it. And when you have Harpour discarded, that ensures you can get your Orcust plays off at a hitch, even through 1 hand trap. Because then you can do things like banish this, get Orchestrated Nightmare, Orcust Naturia, send Swans, and then you do your whole combo even after Mermaid gets ashed. 1 simple skeleton, because we will always be pretty much recurring this. 2 copies of Orchestrated Nightmare, standard, because if you draw 1 copy and you only play 1, then you kind of brick, so that's bad. And 1 copy of Wands, which is not necessary for the combo, but it does help you get some extra extenders, and it is also a failsafe for if you discard Harp, for example. So still get to play 1 copy of Wands. 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Generic. If you have room for 3, you play 3. If you have room for 2, you play 2. Then we have Terraformings. 2 Terraformings. So it's good if you get access to Babel. Like let's say you draw Climax, you play Terraform, you get Babel out. Or you can use search for Trickstar Light Stage. 3 copies of Light Stage. Very amazing card. A lot of people in the OCD use it. Over here, we used to have a lot of Danger players because Dangers are amazing. But this definitely gives us the advantage over our opponents, especially if they play back row. You can lock them out of back row as long as it stays on the field. And pretty much you can force them to play their back row at the moment you target it. And then if not, we usually don't replace this for Babel until way later in the combo after all of our stuff is done. So sometimes that back row doesn't even matter. And also you get to search out, of course, your Corabane, your Lilybell, or your Candina. Very good Ash target. A lot of people will probably Ash that if they don't know what you're playing. 1 copy of Rhoda. This is basically for Neo Space Connector because you always want to see that as your opening. Or if you already have Neo Space Connector, you can search for Photon Thrasher. 1 copy of Instant Fusion for the Predaplant combo to get out your level 4 and level 5 Earth fusions, which I'll get to soon. 1 copy of Babel. Mandatory, playing Orcust, lets you or your Orcust monsters in field and graveyard become quick effects. So you get double the advantage during your opponent's turn and your turn. And also enables the Dingirsu revive play. 1 copy of Orchestrated Return. This card is pretty much optional, but I feel like if you're playing 3 Harp Horrors, and with the standard rest of the build, 2 Orcust Nightmares, 1 Symbol, 1 Wands, then it's always nice to play this because it's a Pot of Greed, technically. Draw 2, fix up your hands. You can get Harp to Graveyard. 3 copies of Call by the Grave. Standard, you want your combos to go through. 2 Fog Blades and 1 Shade Brigandine. Since we're playing 3 Phantom Knights total, we're playing 2 Boots and 1 Cloak. You have 3 cards, 1 for each. 2 Fog Blades Mandatory, you always want to end your field with double Fog Blades. So Phantom Knights Shade Brigandine, always nice, because if you are playing Longirsu, if you want to change up the build a bit, you can use it to help summon Longirsu with a PK Boots and a Dingirsu. Might be a little confusing to say at first. Or you can use this to make a Time Thief Reader with the trap material. If you have wands in your graveyard, or you discard the harp to get the wands, you can still make a Redoer, which is still a really amazing card standalone, even though there's no more Azathoth anymore. It's basically like you use this to make Redoer, and you're basically trading a Fogblade Negate for a whole bounce, plus potential card draw, banishing itself to recycle harp back to graveyard. Really amazing card. And it's also a free special summon technically. So you can use it with Neo Space Connector, you can use it with Predaplan Scorpio. And then finally, 1 copy of Orcust Crescendo. Extremely amazing card. It's one of the cards that makes Orcust no longer depend on Bomber Longirsu, Azathoth nonsense. Banish it. Well, you gain a monster, and then banish it, or spell or trap. And you can also get it out of the graveyard, banish it to get a Orcust monster from graveyard or deck to your hands. So in the case of you want to use this after this, you can just banish it. Now you can use this freely. Same with Fog Blades. You can banish it, bring back the PK Boots, and now this is available to use the turn you set it. Now going on to the extra deck. We have the Naturia Beast, and your level 4 Earth, Korobana Warrior for instant fusion. Very old card. This is actually the only level 4 Earth that's available. Very old card. Then we have a copy of Dingirsu, what pretty much Orcust became nowadays. Card's expensive as hell. So Dingirsu has pretty much multiple effects. So you can special summon it instead of normal overlaying by overlaying on top of a copy of Galatea. So you make Galatea and then you overlay Dingirsu on top of her. And pretty much you can use, if a card gets popped on the field, you can offer one of the materials that he has instead, which is really amazing. And when you special summon him, you can get one of 2 effects, only one though. You can either send the card from field to grave, which is really amazing, non-targeting removal, or you can take one of your banished Orcust machines and attach it as material, so you can fuel up your protection popping. Most of the time though, you're probably going to do the send effects, because it's amazing board clear. We have a copy of Time Thief Reader, still amazing card. No longer used for Azathoth nonsense, but still non-targeting removal. Could draw a card if you steal a spell from your opponent's deck. Sometimes you steal very important cards during the standby phase. Countless times I steal Ash Blossoms or Evenly Matched. It's quite hilarious. Then we play a copy of Breaksword. Breaksword is an amazing rank 3, dark, so it works with Phantom Knight Trusty Bardish. Pop cards. If you're playing Predaplan Engine, you have a lot of level 3s that you can potentially draw into and play with this. Aromatherapy Jasmine. This is what makes the Naturia part work. So 2 plant monsters. You take the Predaplants, make this, and then you contribute a monster she points to special summon any plant monster from your deck. So in this case, we're using Glow Up Bulb. So she searches out Glow Up Bulb for free. And then you play the instant fusion, you make the Naturia Beast afterwards. And then you can mill a card, resummon Glow Up Bulb, link the Glow Up Bulb away and herself for your Orcust stuff and your Nightmares on the other side of the board. Very amazing card. You have a copy of Nightmare Cerberus and a Phoenix. Most of the time you want to start off the Orcust combo with Cerberus because he's not as important when it comes to popping opponent stuff. Phoenix is always nice to hold on to. Mermaid starts off your Orcust combo. Any 2 monsters makes this, replace into this. Galatea, 2 copies. it's minimum to play 2. If you're playing a more pure build, you could play a 3rd copy, which is kind of recommended. You don't always have to play 3, but definitely you need 2 minimum for the Orcust Yugioh combos. And basically, now that we have Crescendo, she has a very good target other than Babel that you can search out. So you can set an Omni Negate. Very good. 1 Phantom Knight's Rusty Bardish. This pretty much, you go into her, you get the Symbol Skeleton back, you make this. Then you sell the Phantom Knights, you get your 2 Fog Blades. Since Yugioh is a Dark XYZ monster, every time you special summon a Dark XYZ monster to an arrow he points to, so either the 2 down arrows or the arrow pointing to the left, if he special summons, or you bring him back to the game with the Fog Blade, he gets to pop a card. And pretty much you'll always use at least 1 Fog Blade, and your opponent will probably get rid of that for something. They'll lick away the monster. So you always have a Fog Blade ready to bring him back. Then we have Moral Sword, pretty much your finisher. You always want to make this the turn after you stun your opponent to go for game. Then we have Link Spider and Link Karibo. So Link Spider is generally used for Shade Brigadine. If you ever use him afterwards, like after the Orcust combo, and you draw Shade Brigadine, and you need effect monsters to make Moral Sword, you can turn Link Spider, Brigadine into Link Spider. That way, it's actually useful. Link Karibo is more of an insurance for Glow Up Bulb. Like, let's say you hard draw Glow Up Bulb and the rest of your hand kind of sucks, which is pretty rare, but it does come up where Link Karibo is actually very nice in that regard. It's pretty much a salvage.
Side deck?
Yep, going to side deck. We have 3 copies of Twin Twisters. Since we're playing Trickstar Engine, we don't exactly need back row removal in our deck because we already have that in the form of Trickstar Light Stage. But it's always nice to usually have sided in 2 or 3 depending on the deck you go against. Heavy back row decks, Mystic Mine. Oh god. Mystic Mine. 3 copies of Red Reboot for all your Altergeist matchups. Also good against Mystic Mine and a bunch of other back row decks that rely on trap cards. And since we're playing a deck that can easily OTK on the following turn of stopping your opponent, you can swing for game. You don't have to worry about the drawback of them setting more stuff. 2 copies of Ghost Ogre. It's once per turn, so you really don't want to have to draw multiples of these. You don't want to end up like 2 in your hand opening. This is pretty much for the Pendulum Edition matchups, things that are very hurt by getting their cards destroyed, Electromites, whatnot. 2 Kaijus. For this case, it doesn't really matter because we're not playing like a Lower Darkness or anything. So it could really be any 2 Kaijus you want. Not playing Dark Referee either. So this is just to get rid of problem cards that they make big negates, like Mythic Jackal King Beast, whatever his name is. The Minion guy, any big negates, Cyber Dragon Infinity. You just slap these down. You don't want to play too many of them because you don't want to draw more than 1. 3 copies of Prankatops. This is always useful going second. Pop problem cards, force out threats, negates. And then, as a side choice, if we're going against trap-heavy decks, we have the Naturia Barkion. This, I prefer to keep in a side deck because trap cards aren't that much of a threat, especially since we're playing the Trickstar Light Stage. But if you are going against the Altergeist matchups and stuff, this is obviously way better than that beast. And it's pretty much the same exact combo.
What do you side out?
So, siding out, we would probably take out things like...
For these 2?
Oh, for these 2?
Yeah, for these
we would just side out the Karabana Warrior and the regular Naturia Beast.
Oh, fair.
So that's just even recycle, even switch.
Alright, let's see that 2-card combo.
Alrighty. So, I mean, pretty much everyone already knows the Neospace Connector works. Shoot out Dolphin, get rid of hand traps.
I don't need that one. Just the terraforming and the...
Yep, so for example, we're going to have hand draw Scorpio. And...
Terraforming, and then get Called by the Grave, so you have something to discard, just a random card.
Sure. The discard does have to be a monster, so let's say you have an Ash Blast.
Yeah,
because you have to discard a monster for Scorpio. We have plenty of monsters to do that in the deck.
Yep, go ahead and let us know.
So, first of all, you would probably use this first since we have Light Stage and Lily Bell in the deck. So we would normal summon this first, see what your opponent does. If they Ash it, ruin it in any way.
Well, you have Called by the Grave in your hand.
So assume we have like Called by the Grave and it gets through.
2 other cards, so by now they would have ashed something else.
Pretty much, I would probably add Light Stage.
Or Terraforming, but
Light Stage,
play these out as if they're going through.
Where is
it's like a mystery.
Oh, there it is. So you get the Trickstar.
Yep. Special summon.
Special summons.
Search for the fusion. This is the discard, the graveyard, right?
Yep.
It's here. Graveyard. This is here. This is here. We'll say this is the field zone here, so we don't have to go too far.
And let's pretend we have another card in hand just for discard purposes. Say, Call by the Grave.
Yeah, Call by the Grave.
So we have these two in hands.
Yep. This is our hand. I'm gonna just put this face down, just random.
You would play the light stage. Since this went through, we would probably search for Lilybell, because Lilybell, when you add it to the hand, you can reveal it, special summon it.
Okay.
Put it in the middle monster zone, very important.
Key.
Or it could be on the side, but I like putting it in the middle. So now, we link these away.
Yep.
For our Aromatherapy Jasmine. 2 plant monsters.
Bam.
Now, we only care about her second effects, which is the ability to tribute any monster that she points to. So, Lilybell, our free special summon. To get any plant monster and special summon it from her deck. Then here we play the instant fusion.
Yep. Not the side deck.
We special summon Korobana Word to the other arrow she points to. Then we synchro. For that beast.
Nice.
Now we use the effects of Blow Up Bulb. Let's say we mill a card. Any card, mill, Call by the Grave. Hope you don't hit something important, which is very unlikely. Special summon it back. And now you link these two away for your Nightmare service. Most cases service. On the other side.
The other side, yeah.
Link this away. Get your Mermaid. Discard another card in our hands.
Discard this.
In most cases, at this point, you only have 1 card left in your hand, since you have to discard for Scorpio, when you have to use special summon, discard for Mermaid. So you usually have 1 free hand space to draw, an important card. Mermaid's effect, discard, we special summon a Nightmare monster, which would be our Orchestrated Nightmare. Which at this point doesn't really matter too much. Link these two away.
Yep.
Go into the first copy of Galatea. Then we banish Orchestrated Nightmare. Targeting our Galatea, we'll give her 400 attack because we're going to be special summoning Harp Horror. Well, not special Harp Horror, we send it to the grave. Send Harp Horror to the grave, she gains 400 attack, 4 stars. Banish this to special summon our Symbol Skeleton from deck. And then this gives us our Link 3 for Bardish. We don't have to bother using our effect yet because we're going to bring it back anyways. So we can hold on to that, especially if we have like Light Sage locking down a back row. So from here, we banish Symbol Skeleton to bring back Galatea. We can put it here, so it's co-linked. Not that it matters, but she prevents herself from being destroyed by battle like this. Burnish's effects. We could dump a PK monster to search a PK spell trap, set directly. So we would like to dump our Cloak to grave. To set, in this case, let's make a little, actually no, can't make a little price, we just do classic Fog Blades. So set 1 Fog Blade. Banish this from grave to add a PK Boots to our hands. So now we have this in hand. We can special summon it. Now over here, we would technically, it depends on whether you want to make the Crescendo or the Dingirsu play. Let's do the Dingirsu play, for example.
We'll do both, we'll just go back.
Yep.
So do the Dingirsu.
So since we're doing the Dingirsu play, we are going to make a second copy of Galatea. So we overlay into Dingirsu. Go overlay it over any Orcust Link monster. And we're going to use the effects to get Symbol Skeleton attached as material. Then we will link these away. And I got Symbol Skeleton back to grave for our second copy of Galatea. Since you're using an Orcust monster, it's in Dingirsu. We can banish Boots. We can get another copy of Fogblade. And now we can use this Galatea's effect to get out the Babble that we'll be using to revive symbol during our opponent's turn. So we set copy of Babble and return Harp Horror. Either Harp Horror or Orcust Naturia. It's usually better to do Orcust Naturia, shuffle it back to deck. Set.
So light stage is gone.
Yep, light stage is gone because you set Babble.
It's not banished, is it?
No, it's not banished. So what we have here is we have pretty much 2 Fogblades. We have the Naturia Beast to negate any spells we want that your opponent plays multiple times throughout the turn. Just mill 2 cards. We have Bardish. And we have the Dingirsu engraved during our opponent's turn since we have Babble on the field. We can banish the Symbol Skeleton that's back in our graveyard. It's a special summon over here, pointing to Bardish. Well, Bardish points to him. And this is going to be a send a card, and is going to be a pop a card. 2 monster negates, which you'll probably want to use first. And then the Naturia Beast. And you can exchange this to a Barkion, same thing. So that's pretty much the Dingirsu combo. That's pretty much standard now with Dark Neostorm.
And this was in the graveyard before, right?
No, we banished this to bring back the Dingirsu.
No, I mean before we did the Dingirsu combo. The other combo you said is the
the Crescendo play.
Crescendo play, yeah.
Yeah, the Crescendo play is a little different.
Yeah, let's set that up. So we put this back in your extra deck.
Yep.
This is the first Galatea. She's back in your extra deck. This was in the graveyard, right? This was in the graveyard, and this was on the field right here. So go ahead, do the from here.
All right. So in the case of
oh yeah, this is not here either.
Yeah, that's
Babble.
That goes back.
Babble is in your deck, and
so you would use her. So pretty much you would
stage.
go back to this.
Let's were these both set here?
There's a little deviation in that. Instead of the Boots, or instead of sending Cloak to grave with Bardish, we would send Boots instead.
Okay.
Because you can't use Cloak to get Fogblades from Banish. You have to use Boots because it has to be a Z-Fat the night card.
Okay.
And these are just regular Phantom Knights.
Yeah, yeah.
So she would recycle Symbol Skeleton back to your deck.
Yep.
You know, the one that you used to revive her. So she revives back to deck. Get Crescendo. You have the 2 Fogblades, you have Crescendo, you have this. And that's pretty much just it.
Yep, small variety.
So a very small change, but you exchange your Dingirsu pop and sends for the negate, which is a lot better in game 2 and 3 when you expect your opponent to side an evenly matched or any board wipes. Usually in games 2 and 3 you would prefer to make this, you know, assuming you go first. Otherwise you would do like Dingirsu pops, break your opponent's board, set up 2 Fogblades, set up the Naturia Beast if you can. Let's say you have the special summon Boots. You can exchange one of these Fogblades for Brigadine. And let's say you drew and discarded either the Harp in the beginning, or if you have, where is it? World of Wands engraved. Let's see, discarded Wands. You could use, same way as classic Azathoth, you could use Banish Wands to bring back a Banish Harp. This wouldn't be it. This is out here. Turn these into Redoer.
Alright.
So now you're exchanging pretty much Fogblade for a bounce, plus a potential card draw. If you steal a spell, you could bounce himself to resend this back into your grave.
Is this still on the field?
Yeah, it's still on the field.
Nice.
So you have an Omnigate, 1 Fogblade with a Redoer bounce instead. This gets shuffled back into your graveyard when you remove from play using its effects. So you can use that special summon more stuff from your deck. I still prefer the Redoer if I can make it, because having a bounce is way more better than just having an extra Fogblade. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
For good?
Yep.
Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you really enjoyed this video, be sure to click on one of these 2 available videos on the screen. Thank you for watching.